Nitro at Life's Resurrection Project. How's everybody doing today? Let me try and go. Whoa. I'm not sure how well this will work. I think the wife's camera's a little dirty. Let me try and wipe that off for y'all. That worked any better or not?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. So this is some of our crew in Colorado Springs. Hey, Quinn, what's up, brother? Yeah, this is some of our crew in Colorado Springs. Uh, those are some of the cuts. Everybody that joins the organization has to research their history and then pray to all those that came before them. And then I teach them all how to tool leather and pray to their ancestors and bring their ancestral history up front and then tool their cut into leather before they place that leather cut on their back. So right now that's far right, that's Hot Rod. Far left behind me, that's Floki. And then you got Nitro. And then you got my wife Brat. And then you got three of my grandkids. So let's see, we got some other stuff. I'm just trying to fill you guys in on some of my life stuff. This is Nitro marching in with the Marine Corps. We were doing an event where it was called Healing Fields, and it was an all weekend event. I was the historian for the American Legion Riders, and we had, I think, 130 to 200 veteran casket flags flying with a picture of each veteran and what war they fought in on the bottom, attached to the bottom of each flag. And then we invited the public to come in and learn what it's about. So, and then we'll move on to the next one. I'm just trying to give you guys a little update on my life. Here's one. This is Nitro doing a welcome home. Yeah, I think she's feeling a little better today. You feeling a little better today, Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is me taking some kids to the airport, and we're doing welcome home for a platoon. And I think that day we was only expected to be about 20 people coming home, and it wound up being about 75. So it was an all-day event. It was a welcome home, and that's just some of the stuff I did when I was riding with the American Legion. So we'll go off to the next one. There's a good one. This is all my photo stuff. So I went up and did a I was in charge of all the pictures and videos, so I've got probably 15 to 20 DVDs that have music with them. But on this platform, I can't play the music, so I'm just scrolling through some of my pictures that I done at some of these events. And that was a pretty good photo op right there. There's Nitro with a gorilla. So we used to go to this party every year, everybody. And I wound up having to be the manager, and the manager I played Mad Hatter, and the manager of a wrestling crew. So with me being the manager of a wrestling crew, I wound up having a gorilla and a Sasquatch was my two wrestlers. And the show was set for a weekend up in the mountains in Colorado. We had a wrestling match. And our crew threw all the wrestlers out of the ring, and the Mad Hatter, the gorilla, and Sasquatch wound up being the overall winners of a Mad Brawl. Of course, there's Nitro sitting in a hillbilly hot tub. And that was a joke the Legion Riders used to play with each other. We used to take this hot tub and we'd run it around and set it in front of different members' homes. It was an inside joke. If you woke up in the morning and you found the hillbilly hot tub outside your house, you had to figure out a way to get it, pick it up, load it in your truck, and then sneak it to one of the other members' house in the middle of the night and place it at their house. It was just something we did that was a little bit of fun. That's when I used to work with the ambulance. So I was a nationally registered emergency medical technician. If y'all don't know, me and Brat are paranormal investigators. Brat does the paranormal, and I do I'm a demonologist, so I go in and cleans and clear houses. Trying to see if we caught anything on this one.
That one had a face. You can see the face of it.
So if you look right there, and this is a photo that's live on video caught in our living room of an attachment that followed us home. So that round circle on the couch was caught by my security camera in our living room, a huge white orb with a face in the center of it. I used to run the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Sanctuary. Brat used to come up and help me. I took care of 33 wolves. I went up there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Took care of the wolves. So I've got, yeah. Quayne, that is Kenyai. Kenyai was about 2 years old right here. He measured 7'1" from the tip of his nose to his tail at 170 pounds. He was a big boy. He was our ambassador. And when you walked him, I'll tell you what, when he wanted to do something and you were trying to yank on him, tell him, no, you can't do that, he'd drop his head with them orange eyeballs and to give you that look like, I'm going to eat you alive. I'm going to do what I want to do. If y'all don't know, I'm half Cherokee, so I make headdresses. This is Brat. And that's Brat and one of the headdresses that I made. It takes quite a bit of time to make a headdress. You have to actually, see, I'm Cherokee. I belong to the Wolf Tribe, Cherokee Nation, First Nations people. Unega Owahi means white wolf. That's my name. Onekwa Aluli That means, and then this is my family. Of course, there's Nitro in the center of everybody. Right here. This is a movie I was in. It's called Stray Bullet. And everybody that's in that movie was a bunch of friends of mine that we rode with. So Nitro's in that movie as a, what am I, honey? I'm a mafia hitman for the mafia boss in that movie. A lot of times you'll see me like in the dark, or there's a photo of me at the Nuclear Museum in New Mexico. I rode up. I was staying with my little brother Louis there. We rode up and spent the day at the museum. This picture of my son and one of my first Corvettes that I did a custom complete paint job on. Always remember to hit that like and subscribe, everybody.
Let everybody know we're at 1,000.
That's me and my son. That's me and my son up at Garden of the Gods in Colorado. I lived, what, honey, about 5 minutes from Garden of the Gods.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, we were, me and my son was talking about shooting a movie up there. And we were up there, we took a ride up there that day and was checking things out, talking about where we was wanting to set stuff up at. It never came about, but it was a thought and process. And that's Miss Izzy. A friend of ours, German Shepherd, she was 14 years old. She loved Nitro. I used to go pick her up and take her for rides in the, we had a 2010 SS Transformer Camaro. And I used to go pick up Izzy and take her for rides. So, whoa, things are switching up on me.
Shit.
There's a picture of all of us on the movie set. That's the day I got shot on the movie set. The guy top far right corner, that's a 12 gauge shotgun with a 50 round clip. And I tell you what, man, whew, having somebody stand above you with a 50 round clip firing off shots. By the time they shot 3 scenes, I think I inhaled enough black powder. I was sick for about a week after that. That's a service detachment coin that was given to me by General Petraeus. And then a lot of it's, you know, here I was doing security work in Colorado for the Colorado Springs Philharmonica. And that's Miss Colorado. She come down and gave Nitro a hug for working security and keeping them people safe. If you notice my eyeball, I got one white eyeball, and then the other eyeball I got like a demon wolf eyeball in. There's me in 1964. at my grandma's house. Yeah, no, it was, I'm sorry, 1969. I was 4 years old. We were all at Fort Bragg. We were in Kentucky. We were down in Florida. This is a leather iPad cover. I hand tooled this leather iPad cover for my wife. Yeah, we know it's you, Sandy. We love you, Sandy. When you gonna come visit?
Oh, Daddy, you have to do this real quick. Just for Sandy.
There's young Nitro checking it out. So look at that sexy mofo right there.
Show Miss Wicked.
I was knocking him down.
Okay. Show Wicked Angel.
Okay, how am I gonna scan across everything? Hang on.
Got my
There you go.
gloves.
She's got gloves on, Wicked Angel.
Love.
Brat said thank you, sister. She's got them on.
Love ya.
All right, everybody, back to...
Yeah.
This is a photo op we did up at Fort Carson Military Base. We were up there helping some soldiers with their PTSD event. So we go up and I'd take my military bike up with my POW flag, and me and Brat would do rides up there, and we'd sit and have meetings with soldiers about PTSD and talk to them about using cannabis and microdosing with mushrooms to help with their PTSD. And we had a soldier from Peterson Air Force Base that was a photographer that wanted to come in. He fell in love with my bike. I did all the custom airbrush work on that bike. So he wanted to do a photo op with the bike. Let's see if I can find a picture of the fender on the bike. I know I got one in here somewhere. I think I lost it, Mommy. There it is.
Yeah.
So this is some of my airbrush work. I did a custom POW MIA, and then a bunch of gunships flying in behind it. That was the lid on my saddlebag.
Willie Nelson retirement program.
Yeah. And as you all know, oop, that's the line thing. Let's see, this was the last bike I built. And that was in 2009. All custom paint work on it. It was a 96 cubic inch Street Glide. I had about 200 hours in airbrush work on it. I do have a view. I do have a video of when we put that bike up for sale. It was sold to Chris Angel, the Mind Freak. $52,000. And like I said, that right there, that's what it's all about, everybody. Our veterans. So, for me to be able to march in with the Marine Corps and wished the Marine Corps a happy birthday. I got to march in with the honor and respect flag. What flag was that? All ye.
All gave some gave all.
All gave. I can't remember. It was all gave some gave all. I was asked to march in with the Marine Corps that day, so it was an honor. And right now, y'all, I'm having problems with this wiring harness on this bike.
Tell them about the ride you set up for that Matthew Nielsen.
I don't think I have anything in here on the ride with Matthew Nielsen, honey.
Oh.
Okay, everybody, you know I had cancer at one time. 4 years ago, they removed my prostate. I was 360 pounds. And that was my American Legend. And then my Aunt Peg, she wanted to picture me on my bike, so I signed it and sent it off to my Aunt Peg. I'll tell you what, that S&S motor in that bike was fast. Yeah, I wound up having to throw away 2 lights. Quayne, I've wasted almost $200 on lights. I have the diagram and I have everything wired up through the fender. Everything's mounted in the harness up through the fender. I've got everything wired correctly. I've got the Eagle One LED module. This switches everything from OEM to LED. And then, let's see. And this is the one for the LED light I have. I wired everything in the way I was supposed to, according to this. And, I wound up blowing half the circuit board on the taillight. Now the taillight would work, but I blew half the circuit board on it. The turn signals, I never could get the turn signals to work. So, with us, you know, being on a low-income disability, I have to buy a new light. My brother's gonna loan me the money to send me another LED light. And I'll wire in the brake light first, because I know we've got that, and that works fine. And then I'll get all that soldered down and shrink wrapped. So, and then I'll work with the turn signals. The problem with these turn signals is they're just turn signals. I want a bike that has running lights and with the turn signals. So I've got a set of turn signals, and what I did was I took these bulbs off this one, and I wired in. I put in LED lights on each side. You don't do spaghetti wiring. Yeah, I know. Plug and play would be nice, but with these tombstone lights, they don't come with plug and play, so I'm trying to figure it out, everybody.
Joey said use your arms.
Use your arms as turn signals. Thanks, son. So that Joey, everybody, that's my son Hot Rod. So he's the vice president of the Coat of Arms organization. So, hey, son, how you doing? Ain't you supposed to be working? Or is it Saturday?
It's Saturday.
So that's my son, Hot Rod, everybody. And that was the day when I had my cancer. We didn't know how things were going to go. I surprised him with I bought him his first Piglet. I surprised him. I asked him to come out and help me offload a bike that I had just bought. So he came out and offloaded it to me. And I handed him the keys and told him, "Here you go. That's my first bike."
Oh,
Oh, you got everyone got off for a 3-day weekend?
Nice.
Hoorah, man. That's cool as hell, Joey. So, yeah, there's a legend, everybody. As far as I'm concerned, if you know, you know. Midnight Rider. And a lot of you didn't know. Let's see. Go through some of these pictures here. 310. Go down the bottom. A lot of you don't know. We lived in Colorado for a long time. And I wound up going to.
Duke said adopt me.
Huh?
Duke said adopt me.
Adopt you? I took this picture on my way to Fort Carson Military Base. Everybody told me, "Why didn't you get out of the car?" Well, if you've ever seen any of them movies, when you get out of the car, you know what happens. But that day, that was another picture just before it disappeared, everybody. And then, of course, the military base told me it was flares. They were doing flares. And then I think that's the very first picture I took when coming up on it on my way out to Fort Carson. In Colorado Springs, if you wanted Taco John's, you had to go to Fort Carson Military Base to get them. So I had just left Forsyths? No, I don't know. Oh, hell yeah, Duke. If I had an extra bike, brother, I'd buy it for you. No, my son Joey, he helped me through my cancer. He helped me through my broken neck surgery. They took care of everything for me. And then with my cancer, we weren't sure how things were going to go for my cancer. It could, had a 50-50 chance whether it was going to live or die. And that was 4 years ago. And, I surprised them both with their first bike. I said, "Dad ain't got no cash. I don't have nothing to leave you. But I at least want to be able to buy you both your first bike." So my stepson and my son Joseph, my youngest son, both got their first piglets from their dad. And I didn't spend a lot of money, Duke. I think I paid about $3,500 for both. You can buy piglets pretty cheap nowadays. Of course, now they're not making them no more. They'll probably go up like everything else. You buy a 883 piglet's probably going to cost you $20,000 now at about the same price as a carton of eggs now.
I don't recognize that name that Corey was saying. Horse.
There's a sexy Nitro with an Iron Maiden shirt on. 1980, 81. That's way back. That's me and my brother Norm. Brother Norm run my Denver charter. He's on a Harley Davidson Breakout. That bike was fast. We had went down, me and Norm in this picture. We were riding down to the Denver swap meet in 2017 or 18. And we had our own set there. So I was showing off my bike, he was showing off his bike, and that was the year that that Iron Order guy went down and got in a fight with Bandito.
I think it was Banditos, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a Bandito, and the Iron Order guy shot him right in front of his son, killed him. So yeah, that was a pretty sad day. I think they stopped the swap meet for a while after that.
I think they made us where you put more colors in there too.
That was one of the very first trucks I ever painted and did the body work on. It's a 1965 Chevy farm truck. Had a 350. I had two 650 Holly carbs on it. 4-speed transmission. It had the original Napco 4-wheel drive conversion kit on it. That thing could pull a house. Top speed in it was only 65 mile an hour though. Right here, I'm doing right on this picture right here, our group, the American Legion Riders, Post 569, we're doing a deployment event right here. So, Army Engineer Group was being deployed to Afghanistan. And our crew, we had a handful of members that would escort them to the airport. And I had inside knowledge of when and where they were being, where they were deploying to. So we would run 5 in front and 5 in back. And we'd run about 80, 90 mile an hour all the way to Chicago to where they're being dropped, and then all the way back home with police escort. So you had to know how the hell you were riding when you was riding back in these days. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to flip around. Peace. Like, subscribe, share. Much love to y'all. Thanks for coming on. Please like, subscribe, share. Thanks, Duke. Thanks, Quayne. Much love to everybody. You want to say bye, Mama?
Bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.